In this video, we're going to be adjusting the steering box or steering gear box on our 5th gen Ram 3500 Cummins. So this can apply to pretty much any of your Ram trucks with a steering gear box. It's all the same concept. I want to show you guys this video. I don't claim to be an absolute expert at this, but I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to adjust it and kind of a little bit of theory as far as I understand it to why you want to adjust it and what you're actually adjusting. So here's the truck. Obviously you're gonna say, well, it looks like a brand new truck. This truck has almost 300,000 miles on it. So even though she looks good, she's got some miles. So I've been messing with the adjustment on this. So you'll notice here, this is the slop that I have right now. It's not terrible, but with these big tires, any little bit of slop is kind of exaggerated when you're going down the road. So one of the things as far as theories, so there's going to be a jam nut and a set screw. Depending on what your year it is, it could be a flat head screwdriver, like a slot head screwdriver, or it could be a Torx or an Allen as far as the actual set screw after the jam nut. It's going to be on the top. Some guys will go in through the top and other guys will, reach up through here. Some guys will take out the fender liner and go through that way. However you want to get to it. On this truck specifically, it's going to be a flat and a 21 millimeter. What you want to do is we're going to get the front axle. We're going to lift the wheels off the ground. And I'm going to give you guys a bit of theory, so just bear with me here while I explain this and why you want to get the front wheels off. So essentially what happens is your steering spends the most time with the wheel straight. And if you just go ahead and adjust that jam nut with the wheels on the ground, you crank it up as much as you can, get it as tight as you can end up with bind. So essentially what happens is, since your steering box or gearbox, it spends most of its life going straight, it ends up wearing out in the middle of the gear. So what you can get caught doing is you tighten it up, and then when you go to turn, it can bind on the outsides. It can wreck the steering box. It can cause it to hang up a little bit. So essentially what you're trying to do is you're compromising. You're trying to get it as tight as you can in the middle where you're going to be driving the most, but without, when you start going lock to lock, that it's binding. And the only way to actually feel that is with the engine off, the wheels up, so that you can go to lock to see if you get any bind. Because once you fire this thing up and you've got the hydraulic enhancement behind it and you've got the power of the hydraulics, it's just going to fight through the bind. It can actually destroy the gearbox. So that's the concept on it. There's debate as to when that life gets to be where it's too much slop in the middle of the steering, and it's too much slop in the middle and then it's too tight on the outsides and you're having to compromise. That's when you have to get into replacing the box. But till then, we'll see how much we can adjust out of it. So you guys saw the slop there. I'm gonna go ahead, show you guys the procedure, and we'll see how much we can get out of that, how much compromise we can get, and ultimately with this thing having almost 300,000 miles on it, if we have to end up replacing it. So if you've never moved this before, I will say it's gonna be really tight. I've already cracked this thing loose before, so I ended up having to get a breaker bar on it. But get yourself a series of extensions. So I've got a 21 on there, and then I've got a swivel, and then just a length of extensions. You can get it right to the top here where you can get some leverage on it. So we'll crack that 21 loose, and then you do have to at some point use a wrench. So my wrench is about a foot long. Honestly, something shorter would be better because there's not a whole lot of room to work with in there, but we'll crack this loose and then we'll start messing with it. Okay, so way down there, we've cracked that loose, and then you might want to consider something like this. So you're gonna need your flat. I've got an adjustable here, so the nut's already cracked loose, so I don't have to worry about stripping anything. But I've got my 21 here, and I've got this small adjustable, half the size, that's adjusted out to the 21. That way we can hold it, because we're gonna have to rotate it, hold the set screw while we loosen the jam nut. All right, so we went in, we adjusted the bolts after loosening the jam nut, and here's a good example of bind. So we went in, I tightened it down until I couldn't tighten it to see what would happen, and look, now this thing is stuck. So I have the wheels turned to the right, and then I'm coming across the left, starting to get to almost center, and then bam, she stops. So that is a good example of bind. And if you didn't have the front axle and the front wheel suspended, and you did that, and then you had the engine running with hydraulic assist behind it, you would break something. So that's why you want to do it this way. I kind of wanted to illustrate that. So what we got to do now is we've gone too far. So now we need to back that bolt off so that we have it as tight as possible, but without it binding like you just saw there. All right, so we went ahead, if you guys can see down there, we loosened it about a quarter turn, and I got a little bit more turn out of the steering wheel, but still bind. So you're kind of constantly, look, see how it stops there? So we're gonna go over here, and this is the process, you guys. So you guys can decide how greedy you want to get with it, but this is essentially what it is. So I'm gonna stick my arm down here, loosen this off another quarter of a turn, and you might have to, since it's kind of bound up on it right now, you might actually have to get it out of that bind to be able to turn it. As you saw there, it didn't want to loosen off. So if we go back here, and now we can actually turn it. So make sure you're out of the bind before you try to do this. So we'll go back here. It's tight. It's definitely tight, but can maybe go a little bit more, because there is a little bit of resistance in the middle, but we are like flirting with it being borderline. So it is nice and tight in the center line though. I don't know, I like that. So I don't know if you guys can see my wheel and my tires moving at the same time, but just a little bit off of that, and I think that's about as much as we can ask for. So again, that's the process. I'll go over here, come down here, we'll loosen this a hair, maybe right around there, run it back and forth, see how we like it. And then once you lock that jam nut in, just double check, you guys, before you decide to ultimately set this thing down, because your set screw can have a tendency to move with the jam nut just because of where it's buried in the engine bay. It's just hard to get in there with tools. So I would just double, triple check so you don't break anything. All right. Maybe a little more. It's not bad. It's definitely tight in the middle though. That's way better than it was. So I've actually got like no slop there, but it's just a little bit too tight for my liking. So that's pretty much the process. Okay, so I've got my set screw and my jam nut tight to where I want them. I kind of went a little bit back, because what I'm going to do is put the extension bar on it to make sure that that jam nut is really tight in there, because working with this tiny little guy on the jam nut is not getting the most leverage on that. So I kind of just want to put a little snug on it. So I kind of went a little bit further loose, just because when I put you know, this on it, I'm not able to hold the actual bolt when I put this on it. So you just kind of factor that in. So let me snug that down and we should be good to go. All right, so I use my extensions with my 1/2-inch ratchet and snug that down. So again, wheels are still suspended. Just double, triple check. Make sure you don't have any new binds that you're unaware of. So I'll go lock to lock. There's all the way left. All the way right. And then we'll go to center. It's kind of interesting, like there's actually a bit more play, I want to say, when you're turning. And then once it gets to center, it is nice and tight. So I don't really have any slop. I've got some big tires on here, but even the smallest input here is moving the tires. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. Probably hard to see. But anyways, that's pretty much it. All right, so that's it for the procedure, you guys. Hopefully this video helped you, and if it did, make sure you subscribe and give a thumbs up. I've got a ton of helpful videos already on this channel. Hemi videos, Hellcat swap videos, 4th gen videos, every single gen of Ram pretty much, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. We've got it all on here. Eco diesel content, you name it, it's on here. But hopefully that gives a bit of insight as to what you're actually doing when you're turning that jam nut, because I know a lot of guys, even including myself, you know, I did a bit of research and saw that most people were just cranking it and that was it. But knowing what you're doing while you're doing it is definitely key, because you don't want to destroy parts. And I've heard of a lot of people even getting, you know, brand new ones, even from the factory. They're not quite adjusted as good as they could be. So you can probably even approve, even if your low mileage truck is a little bit loose, knowing, you know, how to do it properly and what you're looking for while you're adjusting it. And, you know, finding that compromise and that fine balance really helps to getting the job done and doing it properly. So anyways, that's it for this video. Check out shopboosted.com. We got a lot of parts, products, services for you guys over there too. We'll catch you guys in the next video.